Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting, November 23rd, 2015. Could I please have a motion and a second to accept the board minutes from November 9th, 2015?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Phyllis, second by Betsy. All in favor?
Aye.
Seeing that no one has signed in for public participation, we will move down to, very quickly, number 5, and then we're going to go backwards to 4. Number 5, action item. We need a motion and a second to approve the request from Fire Chief Mike Sullivan to accept and expend a gift to the fire department in the amount of $25 from the Dolbear PTO with thanks.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Phyllis, second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
For the record, I abstain, Madam Chairman.
Certainly. We have a public hearing at 7:40, but right now we'll entertain number 4, license and permits. And I'd ask the folks that are here to come up, please, and introduce yourselves for the record.
Yep. Good evening. My name is Martin Corona, and this is Isabel Donald. Isabel Donald is applying for a license for Brandon Auto Sales.
Great. And we've obviously seen Ms. Donald and yourself before. Can you just walk the board through what you have done to rectify our concerns from last time?
Yeah, Ms. Donald had applied for a license or a renewal of a license to sell used cars, internet sales only. And in order to do so, when she applied, she forgot or failed to submit a bond in order to get it approved correctly. Since that time, we were here, I believe, approximately a month ago, and at that time, it was tabled so that Ms. Donald could apply and renew or change her current or her previous bond to her new name. So she basically got a new bond rider with the new name of the business and submitted it for your approval.
Madam Chairman, move that we grant the Class 2 license for Brandon Auto Sales, FKA TBI Auto Sales.
Second.
Discussion.
Conditions.
There's one condition that we'd like to include that we often do on these applications.
Sure.
That there's no delivery to, placement of, storage, or display of vehicles on the premises. As it's cited, it's just an internet business.
Correct. She will abide by that.
Understand?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Any more discussion? Okay. All in favor of granting the license?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you very much. We
Thank you.
appreciate it, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
You're welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you. Good luck.
We'll do our comments now, because we have 6 minutes before the hearing, public hearing. Does anyone have comments they'd like to address now?
I quickly have one.
Certainly.
Okay, well,
6
actually
minutes.
two.
No?
Please don't forget the food pantry. If you can't drop something off, because it is close to Thanksgiving, drop off a check. They can use that as well. And also, we got a memo this afternoon that the Veterans Agent served 30 families Thanksgiving dinners, veterans families here in Wakefield, which I think is a wonderful thing. And also that there is a great need for women's materials that are in need for women veterans that can be dropped off at the office of the Veterans Service Agent, and I believe that's at the Council on Aging?
Yes.
McCarthy Center.
Yep.
So, if anyone has socks, gloves, shower shoes, towels, face cloths, mittens, scarves, hats, things to keep people warm. And this is for homeless women veterans, not necessarily Wakefield people,
Right.
but, in the area. So that's all I'd like to say, and I'd also like to wish a happy Thanksgiving to all of you people here, your families, town employees, and the citizens of Wakefield. That's it for me.
Pat.
Yeah, just quickly, unfortunately, I wasn't able to make the second night of town meeting, but I want to congratulate Paul Rivas on a great job with those zoning articles. And if I was there, I would have held my hand high in favor. I think he has quietly done a great job, planning with, for the future of the downtown. And this was a big step forward. Congratulations to the board members, too, for putting these things forward, as well as the parking, the new parking program in town. I'm glad that passed. So thank you, and also wish all the citizens a happy Thanksgiving, and as well as everyone here.
Just happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
The only thing that I would like to make sure everyone here knows is that the December 5th is the holiday stroll. Everyone here is invited to participate in the parade beforehand. Chairwoman is invited to come down and give greetings to the community. There's a lot coming down. We'll have our representatives there as usual. Donald Wong should be there, Representative Mr. Broders should be there, and not sure who else is coming at this present moment, but we would love to have the selectmen join us in that hat parade and walk down the street and have a great time. So, that's it.
Did the board receive the correspondence?
No.
Okay, so,
Well, they did, it's on there.
It's-
They received it tonight.
okay. There was a letter included that I'm sending out with Steve to the general manager of the MBTA, Mr. DiPaolo, regarding their decision to remove the 515 Express stop in Wakefield. It's been there for years. It is now, the Express will be to Reading, the first stop from North Station, or from Malden. I can't imagine what went through their minds when they were making that decision. There are at least 100+ people that get off at the Wakefield stop every day at the 515 stop. The train before that is too early. Many people in town, they've started a petition, they've approached us. It's a critical time with regard to daycare as well. The next train leaves North Station at 5:35. That train is filled to capacity. If you take that train, you're standing. So I don't know where they are putting these other people. The decision seems capricious, and as someone who rides the train every single working day and who lived through last winter, their treatment of this line, the Haverhill line, was astonishingly dismissive and bad, and I can't believe they're continuing with it. So we are sending a letter also to our state reps who are working very hard to try to change this. So just a little FYI on that.
Just, can I just
Yeah.
comment on that? I'm surprised that Reading, are they doing anything to try to change this in any way? Because they're gonna take the brunt of it with parking and everybody else that's gonna be parking in their city, their town, because I think that's the next stop afterwards, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so hopefully, there'll be enough opposition to this to stop it between our town and Reading, if they are doing anything. I don't know if they are, but.
I can answer that. I had a discussion with the town manager in Reading about this, because you're right, they are gonna take a lot of the brunt. And what happens in these parking situations is that when that lot fills, the parking will spill out into the neighborhoods.
Right.
And they're gonna have problems. So they are aware, he was not happy with it, and he was gonna take it from there. So I think that you'll get something from Reading too.
It's good.
Excellent,
Yeah,
yes.
do we have other kind of rights or methods other, so we've written a letter to the DOT. Is there anything else fun that,
Well,
Besides our
in the
delegation.
letter,
Right.
if you don't, I am
Sure, go
stating that, no, the town of Wakefield pays $558,000 a year in an assessment to the MBTA for the privilege of stopping in our community. If they're gonna reduce the stops by, I think it was 12%, and I don't know what exactly that number was, maybe we should get a reduction in that as well. So we kinda mentioned that. We're also sending it to the governor, to our state delegations, and working on it. What more can we do? I don't know.
what is this, do we have any idea what this saves them to have the train not stop?
I
once?
can't imagine it can be that, because it's not, they didn't eliminate a train. They
Yeah.
eliminated a stop, or they're going by the stop.
Yeah, does it?
It seems
How
bizarre.
could it, have they cited any reason for wanting to do that?
They reset the entire schedule on 6 lines. That's what they did.
And they added some trains, and it also,
They didn't reduce any runs, they just moved them around.
but they added stops to the Newburyport line, and I'm always concerned, the two trains that are most severely affected end in Lawrence and Lowell, and that bothers me. We happen to be on the Haverhill line that goes to Lawrence, and I just don't know why those two, in the
You're
winter.
suggesting that the Wellesley and the Dover lines don't have issues like this?
Well,
I bet
yeah.
you they don't.
I'm suggesting they don't. In this winter, we were the last line to get on track.
Yeah.
It concerns me. Yes.
May I interrupt for one moment? We
Sure.
have a public hearing scheduled.
Absolutely.
I'd like to make a motion
Bummer.
that we open the public hearing for the purpose of tax
Second.
classification.
Second.
All going around?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Paul and Brian opening the public hearing?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes. Okay, we're opened.
Already signed.
Thank you, Victor.
It's done.
Welcome.
Not easy.
That was the classification, Steve. That was the classification, right? Yeah.
Well, thank you
I
all,
told
and
you
not
that's
that he
why
needs
Dover
any
went out.
introduction
That's what he said.
to the folks of this town, Sebastian Tyne, member of our Board of Assessors, and Jane Daddario. Our chairman, Chris Wilcock, couldn't be here this evening because he is presenting classification to the City of Melrose Board of Aldermen this evening. Let's see if I can beat him. Well, once again, here we are to talk about classification. And up on the screen, let's see, we have our classification presentation for fiscal year 2016. And action. And action. On the side.
We have tech support rushing in right now.
There we go.
On.
On.
The work's on him. There we go.
There you go.
The required action tonight by the Board of Selectmen is selection of a minimum residential factor, selection of an open space discount, granting of a residential exemption or not, or granting of a small commercial exemption or not. Minimum residential factor. A residential factor of 1 would yield a single tax rate of $15.45 per thousand. The way we figure that is tax levy divided by the total value and then multiplied by 1,000. In accordance with the provisions of Chapter 200, it allows Wakefield to shift to a factor of less than 1, which puts more of the tax burden onto commercial properties. Historically, Wakefield has chosen the maximum allowable shift factor to afford residential taxpayers the lowest share of the tax burden allowed by state law. In the computation of this year's tax rate, once again, the Board of Selectmen has requested an excess levy capacity amount of $305,000 in order to mitigate some of the impact on from tax increases. This results in a savings of 7 cents on the residential rate and 14 on the commercial, industrial, and personal rate. Translates into a $31 savings for the average residential taxpayer and $164 savings on the commercial, industrial, and personal classes of properties. This next slide shows us the various options at different shift intervals, should the board decide to do something other than shift to the maximum allowable limit. I do this typically at 25% intervals, so you see what a tax rate would look like with a 25% shift, a 50% shift, and typically what we historically do at a 75% shift, which in this case would yield an estimated residential tax rate of $13.49 per thousand and a commercial tax rate of $27.03 per thousand. For fiscal 16, the average single-family value is estimated to be $440,400. At a shift of 1.75, the average estimated single-family tax bill for fiscal year 2016 would be $5,941. The average commercial value is a little over $1,176,000, and at a 1.75 shift, tax rate of $27.03, their estimated tax bill would be $31,806. At the maximum allowable shift, our MRF, minimum residential factor, would be .873498, and that would yield, again, a residential tax rate of $13.49 per thousand and $27.03 for our commercial industrial and personal classes of property. These rates can change slightly with the DOR approval process. We're not anticipating that, but I like to throw that out there in case something changes by a penny. The average tax bills from 15 to 16. The average single-family value went from 416 to 440. The tax rate last year was 1348. This year it's 1349. Average tax bill last year was 5608. It's 5941, or an increase of approximately $333, or 5.9%. Commercial value dropped slightly from 1,204,000 to 1,176,000. Commercial tax rate went down by 19 cents, and the average commercial tax bill dropped by 2.9%. Some more notes on the fiscal 2016 tax rate. Fiscal 16 is the second year of the full debt exclusion for the new Galvin Middle School. The debt exclusion adds a little over $2.4 million to the tax levy. It adds 44 cents to the residential tax rate, or roughly $194 to the average single-family tax bill, and 87 cents to the commercial tax rate, or slightly over $1,000 to the average commercial bill. Sales activity from this year's assessments are based on calendar year sales during 2014. Prior assessments were calendar year 2013. We had a few more sales in 2014, 228 versus 236. Days on market went from 51 to 45, or a drop of roughly 12%. And the average sale price in 13 was just under 448,000. This year it's just about 470,000, an increase of 4.95%. Open space discount. Open space is defined as land which is not otherwise classified and which is not taxable under provisions of Chapter 61A, 61B, or taxable under a permanent conservation restriction, not held for the production of income but maintained in an open and natural condition, and which contributes significantly to the benefit and enjoyment of the public. A maximum exemption of 25% may be adopted. However, the town has never voted a discount for open space, since no properties have been identified to fulfill this section. Sorry to go through it, it's a requirement that we discuss it. Residential exemption. Only adopted by a handful of communities, including Boston, Cambridge, Chelsea, and Brookline. It's designed as an incentive to keep people living in communities and owner-occupied properties. In my analysis, the tax rate would go from $13.49 to $16.31 before the discount. Break-even point is $480,400, and the way it would shake out is approximately 24% of the homes would shoulder the burden for the exemption for the remaining percentage of the residential population. And most homes in Wakefield are owner-occupied, so. Small commercial exemption. An exemption of up to 10% of the property value for commercial properties only. Eligible businesses cannot have more than 10 employees as certified by the Department of Employment and Training. Building value cannot exceed $1 million. One business in a building could not qualify unless every other business in that building qualified. The exemption goes to the building owner. And the assessing department is unaware of any businesses meeting the stringent requirement in the town. How do we stack up with other communities? Well, for fiscal year 2015, let's see, what do we have? Saugus again, because of Route 1, they had the lowest average single-family tax bill, clocking in at just under $4,000. We came in at a little over $5,600, and we had Stoneham and Melrose edge us out by a couple of dollars. But then again, they didn't build a beautiful new school like we did. This next chart details the shift capacities of our surrounding communities. Just Wakefield and Saugus are the only two communities that can go up to 1.75, and we do that. This next chart just gives an overview of what the average single-family assessed value and taxes have been doing for about the past 10 years. The average tax bill increase has been about 4.8% a year. And same type of chart. This one is just commercial property taxes and values since, well, I should have updated it. This is actually from 2003 to 2016. And that's all I have.
Any questions, comments for Victor? Paul?
I know I'm in the minority on a few things, and this will be one of them as well. I always like to put forward the concept of, we constantly and historically, at least since I've been on this board, have taken the full shift of 1.75. We talk about it briefly at these tax settings of trying to possibly reduce it on the commercial to 1.5. At some point, I'd like to see that be given a little bit more consideration or discussion in our thoughts. We do a lot for the business districts in this town, and we're trying to bring more in, but we always hit them with the highest tax. So it's something to consider as a board, whether or not we vote on it today to do so, but it's something that we should be looking forward into the future, whereas we are hitting them with the highest tax over the last 8 years, 7 years that I know of. We've always done the full shift. They, as well as the residents, are entitled to a little bit of a break every once in a while. So to throw them a bone once, I don't think that wouldn't be a bad idea. But again, that's just my view as one person. The shift will probably, again, as I said, 1349, they are saving, as Victor has pointed out, they are saving 19 cents on the thousand, is that correct? The commercial?
Yes, because of the values.
Because of the values and things, so, I
commercial
mean,
tax
so
rate
it's
dropped.
less this year than it was last year. So I see it, at least the savings this year, but it's something that I would like to see considered in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
It did go down 19 cents per thousand this year because of the lower valuation, I understand that, but we asked the citizens of this community to back a brand-new junior high school, or a middle school, I shouldn't call it a junior high, I suppose. But, and as a result, we have to pay the piper for that. So I'm, in the 12 years, I guess I've been on here, I have always supported the greatest shift that we possibly could for the residents of this town, because we're asking them to do so much. So I understand where you're coming from. We want to do a lot for, you know, and that's fine. But again, they're going down 19 cents, we're going up. And I think that we have to do the best that we possibly can for the people that live in this community and support public safety, the schools, and the entire municipality. So that's just my 2 cents worth, or 19 cents worth if you want to, you know, look at it that way. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll concur with Betsy. I have no desire to raise the taxes on the citizens of this community. What I would like to do is see more incentives, tax incentives, business-type tax incentives to bring businesses in, like 121As or TIF programs or something like that. There's a lot of that in other communities that goes on, and you know, I think I say it every year too. I would like to see if there's ways that we could offer incentives to new businesses, to spur new business, because that can last for years. And you know, it's kind of a lost leader. If it's a 10-year 121A program, they pay a lower tax for the first 10 years, and then they go on to the normal tax rolls. So that's a way to, that we could spur on and help businesses. So that's my 2 cents.
And Victor, we did something like that with regard to the research.
121A, you're showing your age there, Pat. I haven't seen one of
There's
those
still,
in years.
there's still plenty of them in Boston.
I haven't seen any in surrounding communities in years.
Yeah.
But what we did do at town meeting, and it was passed by vote, was a small, an exemption on personal property for research and development companies.
Yeah.
Currently, there's,
Anything like
two-
that, yeah.
There's two businesses here that may qualify. They seem to have a concentration of business in Waltham, Bedford, Burlington, Lexington, and none of these communities offer this type of exemption, so might be a nice way to.
So if I get your facts straight, are you saying that the property values went down this year?
Oh.
Why did we go down 19 cents on the tax rate for the commercial?
Because some commercial values went up.
Okay,
That typically, when values go up, tax rate goes down.
got it.
So,
And Victor, we can give TIFs, is that correct?
yes.
Okay, great.
We tried recently.
Right.
But the
That's
TIFs only-
correct.
But the TIFs only apply to new construction though, correct?
And we tried
Yeah,
really
but
hard on that one.
that's a
Tried
huge
really hard.
benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a huge benefit.
Absolutely. Does anyone from the public want to participate in this conversation? It's an open meeting. No?
Thank you for your indulgence.
Always. Any other comments? No. Victor, thank you very much for a clear
nice.
presentation, as always.
Thank
and
you very
thanks
much,
to
folks.
both of you as well.
Do we need a motion?
Yes, we do need a motion. We need 4 motions. The first motion and a second, we need a selection of a minimum residential factor, which is 87 or .87?
0.87.
.873498.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Betsy, second by Pat. All in favor of setting the minimum residential factor?
Aye.
Aye. The second one is the selection of an open space discount, which we have none in town.
So moved.
Second.
And that vote would be not to
That would be
grant.
not
To
to grant,
deny,
exactly,
yeah.
not to
Right,
grant.
deny it.
Are we all in favor to not grant the open space discount?
Aye.
Right.
Aye. Also, vote in a motion and a second to not grant a residential exemption for the same reasons.
So moved.
Aye.
Moved by Pat, second by Tiz, all in favor?
Aye.
And, again, not granting, a motion and a second, not granting of a small commercial exemption because we have none.
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Betsy, second by Phyllis, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all very much.
right, thank
Have a
you
great
very
evening
much,
and a wonderful
Victor.
Thanksgiving.
Have a great Thanksgiving, you're
Enjoy.
well.
Thank you to your board for coming as well.
Yes, thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Kevin Gill's gonna love you guys.
Have a great night. Happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to adjourn?
Nope.
One more thing.
We have, town administrator has a comment, that he got
always.
cut off at the public
No,
hearing.
just
Oh,
very,
wait,
very,
we need to make a motion to close the public.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Second to close it. Aye, aye.
Aye.
Aye, all around aye.
I think there's still a motion to adjourn on the floor.
That's a superlative.
For discussion?
Superior motion as well.
I don't think any of you want to close out Santa Claus. So if you would like to make that motion, Mr. Quinn, feel free. The Lions Club, Neil Fanjoy brought this in to me today, that the Lions Club would like to request to have Santa arrive by their fire engine on December 12th and to set up Santa's headquarters as they have for as long as I can remember on the Common from December 12th to December 23rd.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of Santa Claus?
Aye.
Aye.
Dave, I thought you were gonna sing some more Glenn Campbell songs.
No, there's no more Glenn Campbell song tonight.
I didn't realize it's.
There is a motion to adjourn on the table?
Second.
Second.
All in favor of
Second.
adjourning?
Aye.
Thank
Go
you,
Patriots.
happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Nope.